Bud Wilkinson invented winning. And here at Oklahoma, we uphold the standard. This is the Champion Standard Podcast, where analytics meet film and the tailgate fuels the passion. Touchdown! From deep dives in the film room to advanced stats that tell the real story. Right. We bring Sooner football into focus like never before. The roar of the palace on the prairie, the legacy of champions, and the pursuit of the next one. It's all right here. So lock in, because this is Oklahoma football. This is the Champion Standard.
Let's go!
Let's go! Go!
Hey, Sooner fans, welcome back. Rob and I are here, another episode of Champion Standard. Today, we are going to kind of recap where the portal is as of today, which it's kind of starting to come around a little bit, and starting to see what next year's team will look like. Talk a little national title game tomorrow night between Indiana and Miami, and then maybe go down that NIL path and talk about NIL and the disaster that is up next.
That's my standard. That's my standard. My champion standard. Champion standard. Pull up with the answers. Yeah, the answers. Champion standard. Champion standard. Yeah.
Yeah. Welcome back in, everybody. Before we dive in, please find that like and subscribe. Yeah, I always like to catch you off guard there, Rob. Really appreciate it if you could subscribe. All the subscriptions kind of help us keep going. Need all that we can get at this point, just like everybody else. So, yeah. So, portal. It's been like just crazy like the last 2 weeks. I feel like it's been like a month, but it's only really been 2 weeks, a little more than 2 weeks since the portal opened.
I love it, man. It's exciting.
It is. It's fast and furious. And I know, Charlie over at TFB is just like hair on fire there for several days and weeks.
Yeah.
So staying on top of it. But portal deadline to enter was Friday. You had to submit your paperwork to get into the portal, but that doesn't mean teams are going to, they're going to keep adding here for the next weeks, months, potentially, just slowly. And I know there's, maybe some Indiana, Miami guys that potentially hit the portal after tomorrow night. So there's some of that too, but yeah. So where's OU at? I'll share my screen again just to kind of give everybody an idea. And I know we shared this last week. There we go. Yep. So just to kind of recap, there's been 28 that have left and 15 that have came in from the portal. We've added 2 or 3 this week. Tight end and defensive back end. I can't remember when Bishop Thomas committed, but yeah. So right now it's like a net minus 13, which there was some obvious crowded rooms where some of this needed to happen, and we didn't expect it to be a 1-for-1 type deal. I've kind of been working under the impression that it's been like a net minus 10 at the end of the day. So I expect us to sign a few more, and there's a few position of needs that we still need, maybe another linebacker or what was it? Linebacker, maybe another defensive end or defensive tackle and a safety. Yeah.
Yep.
So tight end room, man, night and day different from.
Oh, I know.
Yeah, it's crazy. We've been screaming about it for the last, 2 years, 3 years?
Yeah.
4 years, whatever it is. We just haven't had, some prototypical tight ends in that room in quite some time. And I feel like Nagy and coaching staff have done a good job replenishing that room, and probably shouldn't go unmentioned that Jason Witten, first week in office, gets a tight end transfer from his alma mater, Tennessee.
Heck yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, so good for him.
No,
Hit the ground. Yeah, go ahead.
No, it's good work. You know, I've always, I think it was 2 days before Witten was hired. I was on the boards and I was like, it makes sense to dip into the high school ranks with your tight end hire, much like SMU did with Riley Hodges. And then, Kenny Dillingham did the same thing at Arizona State and Jason Bonds. You can go out and get yourself really great coaches out of the high school ranks. And, the tight end room, the tight end coach is going to be spending a ton of time with your offensive line coach.
Right.
Like it's not like, and he's got a small room. It's like 5-6 guys. And really they spend a lot of, in that those, they're going to go through their indies and stuff and their fundies, but then they're going to end up going to spending a ton of time with the offensive line. So I was kind of, Brad, I was kind of interested if Beatenbow is going to get his run game coordinator title back, knowing that you've got Jason Witten. That's, there's going to be a learning curve, right? Learning a playbook, learning the language. I can't imagine Jason Witten running into any issues there. Right. Being 17-year NFL vet and being a head coach. I mean, he was successful over there at Argyle. I mean, he won back-to-back state championships. And from some of the guys on the boards, they were saying that I don't keep up with my TAPS private school, Texas high school football, but they were saying there's guys on the board that were saying that he flipped that program around. He got 40 plus wins in 2 or 3, 4 years. I mean, like he's successful, man. Worried about college level. I thought it was a great hire. I mean, it's going to be he's going to be able to walk into any tight end in the DFW area, and he's going to have, one of the great things about, pulling a guy from the DFW area is, and having that network of coaches, they will tell you when there's a tight end that is flying under the radar. He has now got a phone that is going to be lighting up every portal season, every recruiting season. Hey, you need to check out this guy. Very much like how Mateer was recruited. Mateer was under the radar, and it was the network of Eric Morris, who just now was the North Texas head coach that just moved to Oklahoma State. He's plugged in the DFW area and networked in. He was texted by a fellow head coach. It wasn't even Mateer's head coach. It was another head coach that said, this guy's really good and he doesn't have a whole lot of offers. You need to offer him. Found Mateer. Mateer goes to Washington State. I expect the same thing out of Jason Witten. He's going to be plugged in. He's going to get texts every recruiting season. Hey, you need to check out this 2-star, 3-star tight end guy. He's super smart. He plays in a crappy offense. He's tough. He hits the measurables. He's got the intangibles. He's a leader. He's a hard worker. And we're going to find these tight ends that are coming into our program, Brad. You know what's going to happen? They're going to stay. They're going to stay. They're going to stay with Witten. They're not going to be one and done or whatever. They're going to be program guys because Witten is plugged in with these coaches, finding guys that, are hard work. They're going to be program. That's the exciting part for me is turning this tight end room into program guys that stay. They don't have to be world beaters. They don't have to be Jermaine Grisham's and super talented. Of course, we want that, but I want that tight end room to be just like the offensive line, program dudes that are hard workers are just going to maul people in front of them. That would be great. Let's get that. Get your ankles out of the backfield and move people off the ball.
Yeah. Just watching some of the NFL playoffs this weekend, man. Tight ends are a premium, man. You can't have enough, man. And they move the chains. And we just
big bodies, man. Quarterback's best friend. Big, thick, wide. Shoulders, long arms, bodies that, safeties don't want to tackle. They don't want to come down off the plate and try to knock a tight end, and they don't want to tackle that.
Right.
Unless you're RSJ.
Right.
but yeah, tight ends, it is going to be different next year because we are not going to have the speed at Canic. We're not going to have, be able to get up 12 yards on a seam route in a hurry. It's going to be different, but the trade-off is, you're going to be able to, actually run block and not have to worry about your edge basically getting walled out. And then you've got your, the pistol wide zone, which we were awful. We were so awful. And some of our double yo-yo formations that we ran, our tight ends were so bad on the drive and the force of it. Their technique was so bad. They would lose their momentum every single time. And you get this guy like Hayden Hansen, you get, the Jack Van Der Soler and whatever, how to say his name. I mean, they're going to, and Jason Witten coaching him up. I expect big things out of that tight end room.
Yeah. And just to piggyback on some of your comments as well, you mentioned Jason Witten, coming out of the DFW area, and he'll be plugged into tight ends, but it's more than tight ends. Mm-hmm. He's plugged into the DFW area. So
yes,
O-lineman, whatever position it is, he's plugged into the DFW area. So I just think plucking him out of that region, it's been a strength of ours for as long as OU's been, around. But you can't have enough recruiting sources from that area in the state of Texas. So he's a beloved Dallas Cowboy. He's
that too.
All of that. You know what I mean? So yeah, it's an awesome hire from a name recognition, recruiting contact standpoint. We don't know what kind of developmental person he is or anything like that, but he's a 3-time Pro Bowler or something like that. Super Bowl
17 years. Anytime you play 17 years, whether you're a Pro Bowler or not.
How can he not be a good developer? So, that's been what people are pushing back on, but I'm like,
right.
Dude,
and the thing is, he was a head coach.
Right.
Okay. For 4 years, I think it was 4. He's a head coach. Do you realize how much hard work that is, no matter what level you are in? Taking that on after you've been in the NFL, after you made your millions, he obviously loves the work. Mm-hmm. He loves it. He loves football. He loves it. Like he's going to be good. I'm excited for it. Like the tight end that I watched a little bit of, Rocky Beers. Rocky Beers and Hayden Hansen are going to be they're going to be a great upgrade for this tight end room.
Yeah, Hansen has the size, and Beers has some of that. He's not Canic, but I saw a couple of his plays. Man, he's athletic and can get downfield.
He can scoot. He can move.
They bring different body type, so to speak, to the program. But I forgot what I was going to say with Witten.
But we did exactly like the tight end room. We did exactly what we should have done. Mm-hmm. Veteran, low floor players, guys that you've seen an embodiment of work for the last several years. You know what you're getting,
right? Like
you see it. I mean, you've got Hayden Hansen that did it for several years at Florida. You know exactly what you're getting. You're getting a run blocker and a good blocking tight end that's not going to screw up his assignment. Rocky Beers, he has an embodiment of work and at the D1 level. We did exactly what we were supposed to do.
Yeah,
veteran, high floor.
Yeah, and I think I think I forgot what I was going to say about Witten. I think we may look back on this in like 2 or 3 years from now and say what a huge steal it was and coup that we did getting him.
Yeah,
that's what I think. I think we'll look back and be like, wow, what a hire. How did we pull that off? You know what I mean? So
yeah,
I hope that's the case. Back to your Beadenbow comment, you said you hope he gets run game coordinator added to his title. So
right.
What I think happens this time of year, and correct me if I'm wrong, the Board of Regents meet, and that's when they discuss player or the coaching raises, right? Is that this time of year, or is that in the summer?
Honestly, I don't know.
Either way, whenever they do the coaching salary raises, because they all seem to get a raise every year, right? I think they could add that to his title, because I think that's one of the ways that they give him raises, is just keep adding titles to him in
Yeah.
order to do that. So they might.
And that's giving that title to Beatenbow instills him to communicate more of his run game to everyone else and being able to have a little bit more control. And like, I know it's just titles and everything, but I think it does make a little bit of a difference being that this guy's the run game coordinator. Sometimes it's not, it is added responsibility to be building the run scheme and everything. And having a tight end coach that is new into college football and it will be attached to the hip and coach B in practice for at least probably half the practice. You're talking like, giving him a little bit of a bump, giving him a little bit more authority on the run game, and let him go, let him take off.
I wish if they do give him that title, he has more say on what running backs play percentage wise. Yeah,
I don't think that
so far
happens.
they just let DeMarco Murray do whatever the heck he wants with that rotation. But I just wish they would have more of a collaboration and be like, hey, we want to do this quarter, so I'd rather have this guy in there doing that, not just a pure rotation thing. So I don't know how you do that, but yeah, I think DeMarco's been given free reins on that rotation, and we've seen it the last few years, and none of us can explain it because it's just all over the place, all over the map.
And and like I'm setting my expectations that this, we're gonna end up being better, but we finished 118th in the country in yards per play running the football. Rushing yards per play, we were 118th, and the tight end room was a part of that.
Out of 130, y'all are wondering how many teams there are.
Correct, right. Well, I mean, so yes, we're gonna have better blocking tight ends, but there is other things that need to wrap around that. You're talking about musical chairs at offensive line, bringing 4 starters back is great. Michael has to improve his run game, and then a part of that is Material's RPO decisions. So you've got a whole encompassing thing. If you want to be a top 30 rushing offense, this tight end room's gotten a little bit better, but everywhere else has to get better.
Right.
So if we're gonna get up to that top 20, what do you think realistically sitting here in January?
Yeah.
Like where's our expectation right now in January, or where that rush offense has to be for us to win a playoff game?
I would be happy. I hate to say this because it's a big number, but I'd be happy with top 40 compared to where we've been this year. I don't think it's one of those things you can flip a switch with. All of a sudden you go from 118th to 20.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm just top 35, top 40 would show a lot of progress. And I think that would, to me, that's enough for the running game to become a threat and be able to, run the ball in the fourth quarter when you have to, when everybody knows it's coming. So I would be okay with that.
So that would put Texas A&M was 32nd and Texas Tech was 42nd. 2 playoff teams.
Yeah. And I would like it not to be Mateer.
I know.
That top 35,
the thing is,
top 40.
That
I know. I'm just saying
that's pretty much the ID of this offense.
If you could rank, have positional rankings in the running game, Rob, it's going to be like Mateer will be top 10 in the country. Running backs will be 50, and it'll average out somewhere to 35 or whatever. You know what I mean?
Right.
We've all been bitching about it for the last year or longer that the run game's non-existent. The coaches already know this. It's not like they're reading they're reading all the press clippings and everything else. And, our run game stinks. Really? I had no idea.
What?
So there's been a very concerted effort in this portal haul for run game, productive type guys, tight end room, offensive line, running back, whatever, running back. If you got the other things, the running backs will just have space to roam. So that's all that will happen there. And
I didn't
the
mention, but the
receiver
running
room,
backs need to be better too. Running backs need to be better, like everyone.
and if you get 3 or 4 receivers out there stretching the field, everything works together, right? All of a sudden the safeties can't cheat up or anything like that, and so running lanes just all of a sudden start to open up a little more. So I think we'll all be watching closely in the month of September to see if we've seen some improvement over the off season in the run game. So,
yep.
Any other thoughts on the portal? Like I said, I know we're still probably going to sign a few more, and who knows when and where those will come from. You can kind of take your time at this point because you filled some of your immediate holes. We forgot to bring it up, but Satania and Kip Lewis coming back, and Mateer, which we already assumed Mateer, but that was a huge week in that regard. I mean,
sure.
Especially Kip.
I mean, were we all surprised by that? I mean, I had my tinfoil hat on like 2 or 3 weeks ago.
No.
I think everyone kind of knew and understood that they were coming back.
All the signs were pointing toward them coming back, but I think we had the most concern with Kip, just because
he has the full embodiment career right now.
Absolutely,
So
you could see him going.
Right. But besides that, I mean, Satana would have been considered a one-year wonder in the NFL world, and not even get 1,000 yards as a receiver. That's not going to push him too high. Mateer had a really bad season, so a season where he had mid-season throwing hand surgery. It'd be really weird for him to make a jump, even though the quarterback class is like one of the weakest classes in a decade. But I think it was all good that they came back. I remember saying I had a tinfoil hat thinking, oh my God, is Kip coming back or not?
Yeah, no, you tried your best to get me worried about it.
Yeah.
We were at work and you're like, dude, Kip ought to go. I'm like, dude, shut up. No, he needs to stay. But I knew what you were saying, but all along, we expected those guys to stay. So that was a big week. And just looking at it, OU's got a pretty darn good, let's just call it a retention program, so to speak. I feel like compared to some other schools,
they do.
I don't know what's involved with that, but I don't care. It's just we're retaining players, and that's all that matters at the end of the day to you and I, right?
Right.
It doesn't matter how or what they're doing. They seem to be doing a good job of that the last couple of years, and so you hope it's just kind of a little bit of everything. Sure, NIL's involved because it's involved in everything, but the culture, the locker room, hopefully all that just comes into play, and it's just kind of the whole embodiment of it, keeping those guys around.
Yeah, for me, I think it's a lot of the trust with the coaches that they have. Kip is trusting the coaches for him to go to a whole nother level. He's got four linebacker coaches. Look at Brandon Hall and the way he was able to bring Bowman back and was able to, I know we didn't really talk about Bowen, but I thought Bowen is good enough to go to the league too. I mean, he's a Sunday player.
You tried to get me worried about him too, man.
He's a Sunday player, 100%.
Yeah, I'm with you.
He's a Sunday player. No, he hasn't. He would have kind of been considered that same one-year wonder kind of status, but still, he is a Sunday player. If he didn't have trust in his coach to develop him to go to another level, to go to another thing, it would have been you would have seen guys leave. NIL definitely helps it, but I think there's a lot of trust with these position coaches that do have these Sunday players that are super productive and having good years, and they're getting better each year. They're just saying, well, I've gotten better and better and better. I could go to the league and snag that $8 million contract.
Right.
But if I come back and these coaches have maybe they push me to another level. Maybe I can get a guaranteed contract, like a guaranteed 5th year. Maybe I can sneak into that first round
Right.
and get that 5th year option.
Hmm.
You know, that's a lot of money. You're now
Right.
talking, 15 million a year. You know, you're almost doubling your money. So I think it's a lot with the position coaches. I think there's a lot of trust there. Got a
Right.
development program, so you're reaping the benefits of that.
Yeah. Yeah. Agreed. No, I think, I think we've talked about the wide receiver room last week. You know, they did a good job upgrading there for sure.
Oh, absolutely.
You did a couple of articles on Substack, which I want to remind people that, you know, we have a lot of different media that we're doing. You do Substack articles, and you post some of those out on YouTube and other places for people to go find those. But, you know, we're doing a lot behind the scenes. We're trying to expand our crew a little bit and our footprint. So you'll kind of see some clues and hints of that over the next 3 or 4 months, probably.
Yep.
We're gonna keep pushing forward. You know, we're coming up on, we start year three in March or something like that.
April
You have
28th, I think,
Okay.
is our first. It was after spring game,
Spring
our
game.
last spring
Yeah.
game.
So a few months from now, we're starting our 3rd year, and what started out of just an idea. We were sitting in my office one day and say, "Hey, let's be podcasters," and here we are plugging away. It's been fun. You've been providing all the energy, keeping me motivated. I'm the old guy that needs a little pushing and prodding every now and then. So, you've kept us going, and we're going to keep expanding and bringing on new stuff, and, you know, see where it takes us. We're not going to stop until, you know, we're not having fun anymore, and we're having fun, and appreciate all the support we get from everybody. So, just want to throw that out there.
It's been fun. It's been a lot of fun just meeting everybody and being able to see all the Sooner fans and stuff like that. Like, I actually kind of grew up where Sooner football wasn't really a thing. I was the only one that was like crazy about it.
Mm-hmm.
And then meeting you and then convincing you to do a podcast with me, I was like, all right, like
Okay.
I'm going to talk
Right.
a lot of football. And then what happens? We meet JY.
Yep.
We meet Alex, we meet Charlie, James Hale, and then we have, I mean, it's been a lot of fun. We had Chris
It has.
Blank on, like, it's just like,
You've been
it's a
killing
lot
it
of
on the
fun.
tailgates, man. You've been killing it on the
Building out a
tailgates.
tailgate party, a tailgate party. Oh my God, dude, that Michigan tailgate was awesome. If
That
we
was
could
fun.
do that,
Yeah.
if we could do that Michigan tailgate 6 times a year, that would be awesome.
Yeah, I was
The other
over there.
tailgates are great too. We had a shrimp
Right.
boil and stuff like that,
Yep.
but like
No,
the
the
Michigan tailgate, oh,
Michigan was fun. I was over there playing some cornhole with some Michigan fans, and there
Yeah.
was some nice little trash talk back and forth, you know,
Sure.
at
Yes, I
the
remember.
cornhole boards.
Hey, they were
It's-
good. They were
but
good
but
fans.
it's good. You know, anytime you have a blue blood in town, it's just good banter back and forth, mutual respect. You know, there's none of this fake, hey, we have, you know, 10 fake championships or we're somebody kind of thing. You know, it's real.
Yeah.
When you have other blue bloods in town. It's kind of nice. But no, kind of morphing from the portal. What do you got here?
Oh yeah, so I was just looking at it because we're kind of talking tailgate a little bit.
Yep.
I was like, I haven't looked at the schedule in a while, and I'm kind of like, which one of these games would be a great tailgate? So you got UTEP. The first one's always really good.
Mm-hmm.
That's going to bring a lot of people. We actually had some really good weather too this year. Really
Right,
good
for
tailgate
sure.
weather. I mean,
sure,
especially in
yeah.
September, it was fantastic. So we got UTEP coming at home. You got New Mexico Lobos in September 19th. So you got those 2 road games with Michigan and Georgia. And then you got a bye week in Texas and your first SEC game with Kentucky.
Wow.
Kentucky looks, Will Stein.
You've been a Will Stein fan. I know.
I
know
am.
You're getting ready to throw him out there. Yep.
Well, Will Stein and Mac Leftwich, if I'm picking it, I kind of like watching Mac's offense.
Shut
a
my
little
door
bit better,
right quick.
But you've got, so your first SEC game with Kentucky, and then Looks like we're going on the road to Mississippi State, and they
Yep.
get a home game October 31st. That's Halloween. Holy crap. We got a Halloween. Oh, that'd be
Nice.
fun.
That'll be scary.
Can we do a Halloween themed?
Yeah. So
There's got to be some play in that.
So tailgating is very spread out from what I'm looking at here. You have 2 September, 2 October home games, and 2 November.
Yep.
If I'm looking at this right. So very spread out. Hopefully we get weather cooperating again.
Right. I would venture that the A&M and OU game at the end of the year, the last home game on the schedule, playoff team, OU's most likely a playoff team at that point too.
Mhm.
That's going to be an elimination game. And the week before that, Ole Miss and OU,
Yeah.
those two are going to be elimination games, meaning you're kicking Ole Miss out of the playoff. You're kicking A&M out of the playoff. So I bet those two are going to be probably the best party games that we've got on our schedule.
Dude,
What do you think?
just looking at 3 of our first 5 or 4 of our first 5, man, that's rough start.
Yeah.
Georgia, Texas, Michigan in your first 5. That's rough.
Yeah.
You got to navigate some big landmines right out of the gate.
Yeah, with Michigan, I like Kyle Whittingham. I think he's fantastic, but is he? I mean, Michigan is a. I mean, they had all those players leave. Like, is he going to turn around that quick on week 2?
Yeah,
I mean, he's a great coach, but and of course Georgia. The thing is, you can lose that game and still get to the playoffs. I mean, Alabama did it. Hell, Alabama lost to us and lost to Georgia, right?
Mm-hmm.
No, they beat Georgia. They beat Georgia, right?
Yep.
They beat Georgia. But I mean, like, Georgia still made the playoffs even though losing that early. Sorry, I had it flipped. But yeah. So I'm gonna say Ole Miss and Texas A&M are gonna be our biggest parties next year. I guarantee it.
Yeah,
that's gonna be a lot of fun.
Right. So yeah, we were talking portal, which involves NIL, of course. So I know we were wanting to touch on that a little bit today. Just the the amount of NIL dollars being thrown around. Like, we thought it was crazy 3 years ago, and it just keeps getting worse and worse and worse. It's crazy. It's truly crazy. Hey, I think you're muted. I don't know what happened there. Yeah.
Sorry.
Yep, you're good. And the Darian Mensah guy that said he was coming back to Duke, and they decided he's not, and he's going to go. Where did he say he was going? It was another. Was it? He's talking like he would go to Miami. Did that actually happen?
I think he went. Yeah, I mean, it's 247 has him locked in 100% to Miami. So
yeah, just the yeah. And I was hearing $5-6 million. I forgot what it was, but just some crazy numbers being thrown out.
I honestly, I know this is going to sound crazy because I am pro player. I don't think they're paid enough. I don't think the market's caught up to it. I don't think the players are actually getting paid their worth. And we know this because the teams and the programs don't want to negotiate with them because they're scared about how much value there actually are. I don't think there's any reason why, because if this is such a wild, wild west, why haven't they approached the players on a deal?
Yeah. No, I'm not going to completely agree saying, that they're still underpaid, because there's some guys making some serious money.
Yeah.
There's just I feel like there is a big gap in between, the ones that are making the Arch Manning money. Let's just say Arch Manning money and use that as a bar. And then the ones that, there's some that don't make enough. And I don't think those are the ones you're talking about. You're even talking about some of the better paid guys you're saying aren't making enough. And
I think that
I think there's 18, 19-year-olds. I think they're making plenty, but I know what you're saying.
I'm not saying that like the dollar figures are not wild. I'm not saying the dollar figures are not just like they're millionaires. I'm just saying based on the market, like you've got how many college football players are there? There's thousands.
Sure.
There's thousands. Mm-hmm. And so you're going to have the top 1% get a lot of money,
Sure.
and they're going to push market up, 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 up. And the way I have this kind of, figured out in my head is that you got to come to the players to make a deal. And if you really want the Wild West to stop, what you need to, Brad, is placate to the majority of players. And the majority of players are average.
Hmm.
And the majority of players are average. Those are the who you're actually negotiating with. You're not negotiating with the Sam Levitts and the Arch Mannings, okay? You're going to be negotiating with the majority average player. They are the ones that will help you get a deal signed to
Right.
limit the NIL dollars. You can make an NIL cap, and within that cap, much like what the NBA does with their max contract rule,
Mhm.
just like in that world where the majority of players are average, pushes dollars to the majority of players, which are average, and
Right.
then the dollars would spread. But
Yeah.
you can't do that. You can't even talk to them about it because they're not employees. They're in this, they're student athletes. They can't unionize. You can't do this. And so the only thing,
Yep.
you just push rules, and then the players sue, and then you just keep going through the courts. And you've got all these powers that be, the commissioners
Mhm.
that have egos. They have, you got to have them concede power to have one commissioner and one union and negotiate a deal. It's a long ways to go, but that's where it's heading, regardless of what egos are in front of it. They're all that's just the world that I think you got to get to.
Yeah, and I'm with you. And you and I kind of touched on it the other day. We were texting back and forth, and I think some kind of hybrid version of the NBA or the NFL salary cap and the NBA soft cap luxury
Yes.
tax type stuff is the
Sure.
way to go.
Yeah, you could do the
You,
luxury tax, I guess.
you got to punish these teams for the being able to overpay. There needs to be some kind of penalty for the team that's, let's just say they're spending 50 million on a roster instead of 30 million. There needs to be some.
Right.
You got to figure out a way to level that off. I don't know what that looks like, but I think luxury taxes and things like that. You create the different. What do they call them? Aprons. They call them different aprons, where you hit this mark, you get taxed this, you hit this mark,
Right.
you get taxed that. And I realize the players have to be under contract. There's a long way to go before even talking about that, but there needs to be some kind of, and I think you and I could sit down and have a podcast, just about this alone. You come up with your ideas, I come up with my ideas, we come up with what we think the dollar amount is that it needs to be, and so on. I think that would be fun to do that, and I know
Yeah.
we've kind of mentioned it once before.
So, like I said, there are there's a CBA that's out there that's been shared by a players union already, and it's a non-employee CBA agreement where they do not have to be employees. It's a different tax filing and all this other different stuff, but you're not gonna end the Wild West, this whole thing, until you get a deal specifically with the players, and you have to let them unionize. They have to be able to be represented. Until that happens, it's just not going to happen. Like it's in it. And there's that figure that was put out by the CSC, the sports college sports commission, that's regulating with PwC, PricewaterhouseCoopers, to their little independent review of NIL. I'm going to ask you a quick question. So it rejected like 500 some odd deals. Okay. At 17,000. So roughly about 3% of the deals were denied and rejected because it didn't fit the criteria. Do you think that the 97% of the deals out there that were approved by this sports commission that they're trying to regulate NIL without any sort of a deal with the players, do you really think 97% of them are not pay for play?
Oh, no. Yeah. Absolutely.
So you
Yeah.
could create as many committees, you can create as
Right.
many commissions, you can have one of the biggest accounting firms in the world to try to regulate it, and you can
Yep.
say, okay, it's been a couple times, and they can go out there and be like, we stopped 10, 12, $15 million in contracts
Right.
or whatever.
Right.
Pay for play is going to exist until
Yeah.
you get the players at the table to
Yep.
agree we will limit our inventory. It's theirs. It's their name, image, and likeness.
Mhm,
They own
mhm.
it.
Right.
They sign the deal. I limit it so we can have an even playing field for a product that we share in TV revenue. So you put it all in writing, they sign it, and then
Yeah.
Wild West ends.
Right.
Everyone agrees
Right.
to the rules. All
Right.
the off the field rules. We agree.
Yeah. I just wish the NIL, just the phrase, word, whatever, just goes away, because that isn't what it is. Let's just stop using it, because that
Yeah.
isn't what it is.
Nope.
It's pay for performance. It's pay for play. It's pay for whatever. It's to employ you to come play for us is what it is. So
Yeah.
get them under contract and let's move forward with it.
Right.
It's a developmental league. It's the G League of the NBA. It's all that. That's what it is.
Yeah.
So let's make it that, regulate it. Find some people that can have some stones besides the NCAA to help put some guardrails on it, regulate it, and
Right.
move forward. And you're right. It's got to have a players union. There's obviously got to be player agreement. You can't just go set up something and not expect lawsuits. Look at Ole Miss, look at Chambliss, what's going on with all that stuff right now. I mean, it's just it'll be lawsuit after lawsuit after lawsuit if you try to do something and not approach it the right way. So
yeah, and PwC, I mean, it is the accounting firm that screwed up the envelope at the Academy Awards. So I mean, like, you're asking them to independently review the market of a player that like NFL, NBA, none of them do that. They don't limit a player's NIL in that manner of like limiting value. They'll eliminate it like you can't be sponsored by this organization that kills puppies or goes whaling or gambling. A lot of the gambling stuff, there's like, it's specifically enumerated in the deal between both parties that you cannot do this, but they don't limit a player's value.
Right.
So, I mean, it's kind of like, I don't know, like,
yeah, and
I think it's impossible. I think it's absolutely impossible what PWC is trying to do. I like what they're trying to do. I like that they're trying, but it's impossible. Like, how can if I had $10 million and you're going to tell me I want to give that player $10 million and he's going to do commercial work for me for $10 million, and I want him to do commercial work for $10 million, and I'm going to pay him 10 commercials for $10 million, $1 million commercial, and I sell dumpster cans out in the middle of nowhere, and you're gonna try to deny his deal,
right?
Like, that's his market. His market reset because somebody was willing and able to pay him money on a specific remunerated contract to do work. That's all. I mean,
yep. No, the market is it's what people are willing to pay.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what it normally is. But yeah, it's definitely out of control. Be curious to see how they move forward, if they can at all, because it's definitely. Hopefully along the way they address these transfers, guys transferring every single year. Again, there's complications in trying to stop that as well, but there's got to be, I don't know how you do it. You can't make them sit out again like you used to before. When you transfer, you had to sit out a year.
Yeah.
But there's got to be a way to prevent just the constant transferring of schools. Some guys hit 6 or 7 schools before they graduate. It's like an every year thing with them, just back and forth.
Yeah. And I think about that though, Brad, something that came out of the AFCA Association of Coaches,
Mhm.
college football coaches, D1 NAIA coaches, they voted to allow players 9 games for their red shirt instead of 4
Mhm.
because they were seeing the guys play their 4, got their NIL deal, and then shut it down in order to transfer. Much like we had a player or 2 to do that this season. So um, I think there's still, tweaking stuff, and of course, like you said, the portal sit out for a year. I think it was a basketball coach. I think it was what's the Arkansas
Calipari.
basketball coach? Calipari
Yep, I heard that
that
the
was
other day.
interviewed that
Mhm.
said,
Mhm.
let them transfer one time
Yep.
and play 5.
Yep.
Like one
Yep.
time,
5
play
years.
5, end of
Yep.
story. Simple. Just go back.
Right. If you get
So
injured, you get injured. That's just part of it. That's what he was saying. There's not all these medical red shirts. You sign up for 5 years. If 3 of those you're injured, that counts toward your 5.
yeah.
So,
But I mean, yeah. So the coaches supported changing the 4-game
mhm.
participation limit of a red shirt to 9 games instead of 4. Now it's not a rule change, but the coaches do vote on stuff like that to kind of, I don't know, put it out there as a recommendation to the parties that be, I guess, NCA, which needs to dissolve in order to get out of the Wawas. But they can
Right.
vote and be like, hey, we need to change this. So
Yeah. 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 So, yeah, we could go on and on about the NIL stuff. We do have a national title game tomorrow night, Rob. Maybe we ought to touch on that a little bit.
I guess, do I have to?
I
Oh,
know. I know. Neither one of us are like huge fans of either team. I always force myself to pick a team, even though I don't like either one. I always just like having someone to kind of root against or root for. In this
yeah,
case, it's root against Miami because I've not liked the U since the mid to late 80s. I know that dates me, but anybody that's in my age bracket knows exactly what I'm talking about. I just,
yeah,
yeah. So I'm rooting against the U. I'm not a big Michael Irvin's just completely getting on my nerves on the sidelines. That's driving me crazy. Cristobal, whatever. So it's kind of rooting for the lesser of two evils, I guess you could say. Signetti, his demeanor on the sidelines, it's kind of entertaining. I love when
yeah,
they get him on the camera and he's like side-eyeing, looking around the stadium. It's just he looks so suspect. I told you this the other day. For any conspiracy theorists out there, when you look at his body language and he's looking around like that, you're kind of like, dude, what what is he doing? Is he cheating? Is he looking at the cameras? What's going on? It's just very suspect looking behavior.
yeah,
Um, and he's just so vanilla, boring, whatever. He's just a tough watch.
yeah.
Um, I can't imagine him being a rah guy in the locker rooms. Yeah, he does look. Thank you, Jimmy. He does look possessed. Something looks off there with him. um, it's bad. But god dang, I guess he knows how to bring a bunch of guys together and run a football program because they came out of nowhere in a short 2 years and undefeated, playing for a national title. Indiana Hoosiers. I'm not talking basketball, I'm talking football. What
Uh,
the hell has the world come to?
well, I mean, they did great with their player evals. They did really good on keeping people. It's retain, 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 right? Is
Yeah,
the
yeah,
words.
yeah,
It's getting grown ass men. I mean, have you
right.
seen that offensive line?
I know.
That offensive line, when you
That would
see
make
their
some
faces,
NFL
they look,
rosters jealous.
well, you could see pain in their eyes of
Yeah.
being like 24, 25 years old, fully developed minds, fully
Mhm.
developed bodies. You could see the pain of like experience and the grind of 6, 7 years of football. They have more 7-year seniors than they do
Right.
underclassmen, and they're too deep. Like
Yep.
you can see it in their eyes, Brad. They
Very
look, and
seasoned.
that
Sure.
Indiana offensive line, they're mean, they're
Mhm.
technical,
Mhm.
they just don't make mistakes. They just
Yeah.
they're great football players. I'm rooting for Miami only
Mhm.
because I have had the pleasure and the chance to talk with Alex Maribel, who's the offensive line coach at
Okay.
Miami. I love what he does. I think he would give Coach Beanbo a run for his money as one of the best offensive line coach in
Okay.
college football because he has had a long history of being a great, great coach, and he's a great, great man. So I'm not really. I'll take that back. I'm not really rooting for Miami or rooting for Coach
Yeah,
to go
you
get a
want
win in a
sure,
championship.
sure.
He was
Yep.
so close with Oregon, so close. So I'm hoping that Miami gets it, or sorry, Coach gets it. Indiana gets it. It's hard to like. I don't know where this like hate for for Indiana's coming from with the cheating thing. Have you seen that? But I don't really follow national media stuff very
Huh.
much. But
Right.
like, there's a lot of people on X talking about like Indiana's cheating because they had turnovers in their drive on the first drive over and
Well,
over again.
and I just said that Signetti looks sketch over there, like he's
Yeah,
doing something weird too. So that
yeah,
doesn't help with
yeah.
those theorists. No, I'm with you.
But I think that narrative is ridiculous. They're not cheating. Like, if you can imagine these teams, these college football teams, these D1 teams have every tool imaginable. You have Tennessee that runs this like AI system. They've got
Right.
their own
Sure.
proprietary AI system.
You use all the tools at your
There's
disposal. Yep.
there's PFF Ultimate, Brad, which is like 20 plus thousand a year for all these college football teams, and they have so much information, like everything imaginable from this player is this tall, he runs this fast miles per hour, this is the routes he runs. You can look at like on the opening drive for Oregon on the second play, depending on down and distance, this play is going to be 36% chance this, 20% chance that, 10% chance this. And like there's so much information.
Mhm.
It's available to all of them.
Right.
Everybody has it.
Yeah.
So Indiana cheating on the first drive or whatever is dumb. I was like, that's not, they're well coached. They've played a lot of football. The players are smart. The coaches are smart. That's it. They're just playing great football.
Right.
They're not Spygate cheating.
Yeah, and they're not like when you look at Indiana, you don't see a lot of physical dudes. Like they're not bigger than most teams they play. They just play within the scheme and the system as as good as anybody. And that's what it is. Yeah, just smart football. We can't go without mentioning Mark Cuban's name. So there's there's some behind the scenes, influx of cash coming into that university from Mark Cuban. So huge donor. I forget the numbers. It's something like 10 million per year.
It was 7 digits, right?
Yeah, 10 million per year for the last 2 or 3 years.
2 years. So it was 7 digits for 2 years, and then the third, like 3 years ago, it was a little bit smaller than that. I mean, like he's throwing a lot of cash, man. You got that flow, and here's the thing, Brad. You know about budget. When you're getting another round of it, you know that you are not just getting 10 million for year 1, but you know that you're going to get 10 million for year 2 and year 3, year 4, and makes it really easy and consistent on how you budget. Because that way, okay, if I take this 10 million, but I don't know if I'm going to get it next year, changes your decisions at the portal that you're looking at. But if you know you're going to get it for 2, 3, 4, 5, and you're not having to pool resources and you've got a base, it kind of helps with you taking chances and identifying players in every portal. So, yeah.
Yeah, no, he's a huge donor, probably top donor there at Indiana. So,
yeah.
It's not all, and the argument will be, well, they haven't used his contributions for their roster, so to speak, because they haven't spent a ton in NIL and the portal from what I've seen. But they just have a bunch of dudes. Just don't make mistakes. They don't beat themselves. That's just how they play. Now, I do think, and I'm pulling for Indiana tomorrow. I don't know if that was obvious or not because of my despise for the U, but Miami does bring a physicality that may be able to challenge that for Indiana. I think you talked about it with with their offensive line coach. They have a physical run game. They have some playmakers. I love Malachi Toney, that freshman wide receiver. Did you see that catch he made last week, dude?
Yep.
He's falling out of bounds and reaches back across the field and snags it, and almost, I don't know if he got in or whatever, but just that dude's a playmaker. Everybody could use a Malachi Toney on their team. But I will say this: Carson Beck may pull a Carson Beck tomorrow night. He's been playing out of his mind, pretty disciplined, hadn't been turning the ball over. Tomorrow night might be the night where we see hints of the Carson Beck that we've seen sometimes on that big stage.
Yeah.
Makes a couple of crucial bad plays, and that might be the difference tomorrow night because Indiana capitalizes on that.
Yep, they do.
I see that as a big. I haven't broke this game down as though OU's playing in it, but that seems like a pretty Carson Beck's performance tomorrow night. I think will obviously go a long way to if Miami's got a chance to win the game or not.
Yeah. I mean, if you're Miami, you have to stop the run game. You got to stop the run game. If you don't, you lose because you cannot allow Mendoza and his receivers to get in these like ridiculous 2nd and 13s and 3rd and 15s and stuff where they have a TFL or whatever on one play or they have a penalty of something and then they bail themselves out of it. Like you have to stop the run game. Like if they don't, then I mean, I know that's like time is true in any championship game and every rivalry game, but you will have no chance to get after the quarterback with Ruben Bain and the pass rushers that you've got if it's 2nd and 4 or 3rd and 2. Like you don't have a chance.
Right.
And I think it's gonna be a great game because on the opposite side, Miami can run the football.
Right.
And so they're gonna stay in it. And so if they can lean on that and find some explosives, and like you said, if Beck doesn't turn the ball over, if he has one of those games,
right.
I mean, you're gonna have to play clean football. I think Indiana is gonna win it. They're just too good. But I'm rooting for Coach to get a win, and I hope that we have a good game. I want to be entertained.
Right.
Being a fan that's on a not really care what happens in this game. I just want to I want some drama. I think as OU fans, I just want some drama in a good game. Have some competitive fight. I really don't want Miami to run with it, and I don't want Indiana to run with it. I want to have like a it'd be cool to see an overtime.
Oh, exactly. That's where I was getting ready to go, man.
Yeah, just like have an overtime.
Yeah.
More time watching football before college football season ends. Like, let's keep it going. Let's go to 6 overtimes. I don't care.
Yeah.
I'll be up all night, man. I don't care.
Pushing the midnight hour and be like, God dang, I can't believe we're in our 5th overtime. What the heck's going on? Yeah, we've talked about it for the last 15 minutes, but they're playing at home. Oh, thank you. God dang, what timing. You pop that up and I'm like, yeah, it's a home game for Miami.
That's Jimmy,
absolutely,
man.
Jimmy.
Jimmy's
thank you.
On.
I actually think Indiana's gonna have 40% of the crowd, even though it's in Miami. Did you see the Indiana Oregon crowd?
Yeah, that was wild.
That was so red.
It was so red.
Red. It looked like a home game for Indiana.
Yeah.
So hopefully they budgeted more than last week and they had some funds left over to go to Miami, but surely they did. But I think Indiana's going to fill up close to half that stadium. I think they're going to travel really well and hoard the tickets. And this is a once in a lifetime opportunity for all Indiana fans, donors, whatever. So I think they're going to load up. I don't know how that works. If you're able to, heck, me and you got on the college football playoff reservation thing back in like September, October. So
I do every year.
I don't know if people know how that works, but you spend a little money just to reserve a seat for the game. And then as the season goes on, if your team doesn't make it, then you lose your reservation, basically.
It's basically gambling.
It is.
Really. RSVP gambling. Yep. But if you get like around like when they start it, which is I think is like June.
Right.
I think OU is $40 for 2 tickets.
Exactly.
I think that's what I paid. It's like 35.
Yeah.
Lower bowl. So you're paying for the reservation to buy a face value ticket.
Right. I paid $100 for
Oh yeah,
Lower
you
Bowl
but
for
yeah,
just me. Okay. And this was in like September. And I sold it, which, you were kind of like giving me a hard time, like fair weather fan, don't be selling your ticket. Do you not believe? You know what I mean? Which I get it. I sold it for 75
okay.
right before the Alabama game, thank God. So
Oh, okay,
so I got most of my money back on mine. So
gotcha.
I was just like, man, I don't feel
Hey,
good about us. I don't feel good about us making it to the title game. So I need to get my money back is kind of where my mind was going.
right.
So, but I appreciate the people like you that are like, screw that, man. I'm in it. I'm in it
You know,
no matter what.
it
You
was
know
like
what I mean?
$35
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
something.
And
I
you
was
got
like,
yours a lot cheaper
I'm
than
taking
mine.
it, man.
Yeah.
I don't care.
Exactly.
Like, let's go. But I do that every year. I would highly advise it if you want. And plus, I wanted to go see Miami. I've never been to Miami, so
Sure.
I was like,
Yeah.
that'd be fun. I don't
We've won our last 2 national championships in Miami, so it's been good to us. So that makes sense.
right,
You know
right.
what I mean?
So
Just
next year, where are we going next year?
a quick update. 2 minutes left in the fourth quarter. New England's up 28-16 over the Texans. So it looks like the Patriots will be going to Denver next week for the AFC Championship.
And they're
play
going to be
the
playing a backup quarterback.
Yep.
Yeah. Who's the backup quarterback? Sorry, who is it?
Stinson?
Stinson.
Former Baylor? Is that right?
Huh. Okay.
Did I say his name right?
I don't know.
Was that the kid from Baylor a while back?
Jared Stidham. Wow. My gosh, he's still in the league?
Yeah.
Man, that dude's had a long clipboard history.
Yeah.
Why Atlanta?
So, and I think Ellinger may be their third string guy too. So I actually think the Patriots, knowing that, I think the Patriots are going to go to Denver and win by several scores because, he's just not Stidham's just not Bo Nix. He's not.
Yeah. Nope.
He's got like 8 touchdowns, 8 interceptions, I think are his stats since he's been there. They'll be lucky to score 10 points with him behind center. So, God, Patriots, man, came out of nowhere. I know you don't want to talk NFL too much because you're having Chief
hangover,
whatever.
Yeah.
Welcome to my world, Rob. Man, I've been a Dallas fan for the last 30 years, and you're welcome.
I am right. Like, yeah. I mean, I'm not a bandwagon Chief fan or a new Chief fan, just so the people are listening. So, longtime Chiefs fan, Derek Thomas, and the bad years, Brody Croyle, Matt Castle, Romeo Cornell at head coach, Todd Haley. Like, I went through a lot of pain.
Yeah.
So this is kind of what's funny is that some of my friends have became bandwagon Chiefs fans, and they're like, so they didn't make the playoffs. Does that mean their season's over? I'm like, yes, it's over. Like, we're not anywhere.
Hey,
if there's a
1-800 helpline for you to call, Rob, when you call it, there'll be a Dallas Cowboy fan like me on the other line to talk you through it.
Hey, I can get myself through it.
Yeah, I understand. I understand what you're going through. Yeah. I'm here for you. This is normal. It's okay. Things get better in 35 years.
The draft. I told my buddies around me, I was like, you just hope for the draft. We got a great draft pick. Get excited for having the 9th pick in the draft.
Yeah.
Like, that's what you got to do. And you go into next season and just hope that Mahomes can play.
You hope he can play by like October.
Yeah,
I know where you're at because he's not starting the season.
I know. I don't want to talk about it.
Yeah, we won't.
So, anyways, I'm jumping on a bandwagon. My bandwagon team is the Rams because I like Matt Stafford and I like McVay and I definitely like Puka Nacua. So I want to root for them to go win a Super Bowl.
Yeah, I will say I'm starting to like, man, the Seahawks, man, they play boring offense, but man, their defense, like when you're
Amazing.
talking defenses, you got the Texans, Seahawks don't take a back seat to anybody. Their front four's nasty.
It's
You can at least say that, right?
yes. No,
Okay.
I haven't really watched a lot of NFL. When you're breaking down OU tape, offense and defensive film, and logging and quick cut and building dashboards, don't really spend a whole lot of Sunday
Sure.
watching NFL time. I watched, I think, 2 Seattle Seahawks games,
Mhm.
and I was just sitting there, and I was like, man, they're undefeated right now. What the heck?
Right.
I'm like, what are they doing? I'm like, whoa, who's that?
Mhm.
Demarcus Lawrence?
Mhm.
Wow, Leonard Williams. What the heck?
Right.
And
Right.
I was like, Brian Murphy.
Exactly.
What? It's like,
Yes.
golly, they
Yeah,
are
dudes.
stacked.
Yes. Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. No, I'm with you. Forgot what I was going to say there, but yeah, no, they look really good. Oh,
Yeah.
Brock Purdy running for his life yesterday. If it wasn't every down, it was every other down. He just took the snap and just said, "Oh, I'm running for my life. Somebody get open."
Yeah.
And that was with them bringing 4. Like,
Yeah.
they never had to bring pressure.
No.
It was crazy. And don't get me wrong, Frisco's beat up, no Kittle, lost Bosa, Warner halfway through the season. That doesn't explain 6 points. You should be able to score more than 6 points. But
Yeah.
yeah, Purdy was running for his freaking life yesterday, more than
Yep.
I've ever seen anyone. So, yeah, I'm with you. I like the Rams. I don't know who I'm pulling for in the AFC.
I can't root for the
don't at
Broncos,
this
so
point.
I'm
Well,
on the Patriots bandwagon
Patriots,
now. So
well, Ed, our buddy at work, will be glad to hear that.
I never really had a problem with the Patriots. I always had a problem with Brady. So
Yeah, same. Brady, Belichick, whatever, both of them, right?
I like him now that he's out of the league.
Yeah.
He's fantastic to listen to.
He's gotten better. When he first hit the booth, you could tell he was going through some growing pains, transitioning from on the field to in the booth. Tony Romo, same thing.
Yeah.
But I think he's already better than Romo.
Really?
I do. Romo's kind of sliding a little bit.
Really?
I can't explain it.
I don't remember. I haven't really. I don't know if I've
But
had a Romo game
man,
this year.
and
I haven't really.
And I didn't like Brady when he was in the booth. Like when he first got in there, I was like, yeah, I don't know if I can take this or not. But he's gotten a lot better. Just sometimes he'll go off on tangents. I think it was last week there was a game where it was really windy and he's in the booth holding a football and he's like, listen, when it's windy, you have to do these certain things. And it was just kind of nice to see that and hear that. He broke it down for, you and I, where we could understand the average person. So I like that kind of stuff. I think he's gotten better. And it's interesting too. I forget he's part owner for the Raiders. I keep forgetting that. So they're going to have a high draft pick.
The number 1 pick.
Mendoza?
Yeah, I guess.
You know what I mean? We were just talking about him. So
yeah,
he's like the guy that it's a safe pick at number 1. No one's really gonna be like, oh yeah, that doesn't make sense.
Right. There's not gonna be any criticism
exactly
from anybody. But
So,
yeah, we'll see.
And he being pro quarterback, obviously he's going to take the best quarterback on the board. Is there anybody? Who do you take?
They need a quarterback.
Who do you
So
take ahead of Mendoza, Rob?
well, I mean, if you need a quarterback and Moore is coming back, like there's nobody. So I
Exactly.
mean, by positional value, you have to take him.
Right.
If you need a quarterback.
By default, you have to take Mendoza. Yep.
Yeah.
But I feel like we're just going to keep rambling here about stuff. So our listeners are probably like, okay, dude.
Yeah, I mean,
So
Ty Simpson. I mean, you could go Ty Simpson. I like Trinidad Trambless. I think he's got a ton of upside. I really do. Like I love Trambless. And if he falls out of the top 15,
dude,
I think that is a crazy value.
Smart. He would be so smart to go to the league and quit fighting this. Don't do this lawsuit crap and just go to the league.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd take him in a heartbeat. If you get him in the top 10, that'd be a steal.
Yeah. I like to watch quarterbacks myself. It's like one of the big names last year was Drew Aller of Penn State.
Mhm.
Drew Aller, and now he's like maybe gonna get drafted in the first couple of rounds. And
Coming
there
off
was
an
all this
injury.
hype of
Yep.
all the people that know football. You look at his stats. I mean, he had like 4 games in one season where he threw over 60%.
Mhm.
And if you want to like start anywhere on evaluating a quarterback, just look at what Bill Parcells says about quarterbacks, because he had the formula down. Go look at his formula, apply it. Mendoza fits it. And I don't think any other one fits it, but
Huh.
like Bill Parcells had a great formula. It was a check off, like how many years of football. I forgot what it is. I don't know off the top of my head, but it
Mhm.
was how many starts, how many years, how many seasons, because it take training, like actual practice time,
Right.
completion percentage, and TD ratio, quarterback. I mean, like there's a checklist that Bill Parcells had back in my day when I was a kid, like younger. They used to always, like, the media would always take it and then go through it. They don't really do it anymore, but I guarantee you it still works today. You might have
Mm.
to adjust it a little bit, but
Right.
like he had a formula for it. It was almost like, Matt Stafford fit it, Aaron Rodgers fit it.
Right.
There's a lot of quarterbacks that fit that formula. Very few did not. Tom Brady fit it, and yet
Mm.
he went into the 6th round or 7th
Mhm.
round or whatever.
Mhm.
So, um,
Did
you
Tom
gotta start
Brady
there.
did Tom Brady play under Parcells at all, or was he
Yeah.
under Belichick the whole? Okay.
Oh, wow, that's a good
So
question.
I know Bledsoe was there
Yes,
when Parcells was
Bledsoe.
there. So I'm thinking Parcells, and all of a sudden I'm like, was he Phil Simms and then Drew Bledsoe, and
I
then did he
I'm
have
pretty
Tom Brady for a
I'm
couple
pretty
of
sure
years?
I'm pretty sure it was his. I'm
And
pretty sure
then
no,
whoever he had
Belichick.
in
I think that
Dallas?
was his first draft.
Okay. Okay.
I think Tom Brady was his first draft. So
Okay.
he would have been a whole season, and I think he went
Well,
into the next season with Tom Brady's draft.
Parcells' formula might have worked on the guy that was picked in the 6th, 7th round. So
Yeah.
yeah, you may be onto something there for sure.
Yeah, Bill Parcells, one of the greatest coaches of all time. So,
Yeah, I'm with you on the
and
Rams.
for a defensive coach, it was so strange for him to have a quarterback formula that worked. But when
True.
you're a great teacher and everything and developer, like, you just pick up on stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, do we want to wrap things up? I know we start getting off on tangents. That's just what we do.
We do. Final 15. It's just like whatever's on our mind.
Yeah. So yeah, we're kind of in the off season of podcasting. I've read some comments that a lot of people are like in podcasting burnout just from the last 5 months or whatever. So
Yeah.
we'll try to keep ours creative
And light.
Exactly, lighthearted, creative. I realize there's not a lot of game stuff to talk about in the off season, so we do have to be creative about it. But hope we got a lot of ideas. There's going to be we're trying to expand our footprint and different things. So it's been interesting. I know we're just kind of learning on the fly, Rob, as we go. We just kind of keep pushing and seeing where things take us. If something doesn't work, we don't do it. If something works, we just keep doing it. So appreciate everybody that's joined us. Yeah, Jimmy, thanks. Appreciate you joining. You're one of our normal listeners on Sundays, so appreciate you and everybody else that's on the chat right now. So yeah, thanks everybody. We'll I know we got a trench warfare possibly coming up here in the next week or two, so stay tuned for that, and then just all the off-season stuff that we have planned. So thanks everybody, and Boomer Sooner. Bye.
That's my standard. That's my standard. My champion standard. Champion standard. Pull away the answers. Yeah, the answers. The champion standard. Champion standard. Yeah. I be in the field, ready, set the goal. 7 rings, we way too cold. Hang my jersey up, it's greatness overload. We show up every time, rain, sleep, hail, snow. Young and on, boom with jets, no, we straight shooters. Topics we better when you living as a champ. Cause my standard that I always be the man. Stay high in demand, stay humble, that's the plan.